We're going to talk about dimensional interference and also address what's called an ET, extraterrestrial, tag or implant. And this is an important topic. I don't know how well this will be received, but it is very important. So I'm going to talk to a couple different groups of people here. One would be groups of people that are already healers, already energetic healers, or, work at the capacity of healing others. And the other group of people I'm going to talk to is highly sensitive souls. Now, dimensional interference. So I don't know if anyone has watched, there's a show on Netflix lately, and it's called Stranger Things. Now, and it's not the only show out there like this, but as where this show is a TV show in Hollywood or, the entertainment industry, that any show, pretty much a lot of shows that we watch on TV are going to not be the realistic example of what's actually happening. But in this show, Stranger Things, there is a lot of truth about what is going on and why this is important to talk about. I'm going to tell you that I, energetic healer, because it really worked for me. To clear energies out of my body was a very helpful thing. When doctors failed, when all the counseling failed, and not that those things aren't helpful, but I was experiencing a lot of things, high trauma life, a lot of things mentally, physically, and that progressed through a period of time. So whereas all those things didn't fully move the needle for me, and there was not sustainable healing, that I did find answers within the energetic work, or what people would call light workers, the whole realm of energetic healing. Now, what I know today is working with energy, frequency, and vibration is really key. And when I talk about this, I am talking about spirituality as well. So whether you want to say the word God, you want to say the word source, you want to say the word higher power, I say the word highest power, and there's a reason for that. And spirit, whatever you want to say, that works. And so use that and filter with what I'm talking about. Now, when I was doing all that, there was still a level of not healing optimally and completely. And I was in some very powerful energetic programs with some very accomplished, I don't want to use the word powerful, because really who is all powerful is Source, right? Source, the one and only true Source, aligned with complete love, light, and truth and wholeness. That really is what we're aiming for. But really within programs of these powerful, learning some very powerful things to heal and clear the human body and everything around us and our loved ones. And I still remained not doing well. And so that's why today we're going to talk about dimensional interference, and we're going to talk about extraterrestrial, ET, tags, and implants. And I know this might be a deep topic for some people. Some people might think, what are you talking about, Marilee? And I will tell you, a while ago, I would have been one of those people. I would have said, what are you talking about? Whoever was talking about this. And I did see people sort of talking about this, and I dismissed them, and I thought they just were maybe conspiracy theorists and didn't know what they were talking about. And that is actually a very different truth than I know today. So, dimensional interference, if we look at the quantum field, beautiful place. When you start to be able to see, and some of you, if you have any clairvoyant gifts, which means you can see energies, you might have seen what I'm talking about. For the rest of us, that There can be, you might feel it and you might not know you're feeling it. You might know it's happening, but in the quantum field, quantum physics, and I'm not a physicist, but the quantum field, there is different membranes, there's different strings, there's a whole different quantum structure. And within that quantum structure, so when you talk about quantum healing, as Deepak Chopra does, that within that quantum healing, there are different dimensions. People would call here on Earth the third dimension. And then there are other dimensions. You might hear people talk about 5D a lot, or the fifth dimension. Well, there are many other dimensions. So what we have is we have parallel lives. We can have parallel timelines that run parallel to what we're experiencing here. And we can also have dimensional experiences, so multi-dimensions. And when you start to realize that we're in a dimensional experience, it is very different than how we would think here in the 3D. So it might take some brain expansion on our parts or experiences, which is what I love to help people do, is help them tap into these experiences. But I love to help people in a safe, aligned way for the human body. And I'm getting a little off topic. I want to say before we go a little further, this Friday where I live, I'm going to do an in-person one where I live. And then Saturday, I'm going to do a longer, what you would call a workshop or a experience. It's going to be like a healing experience, but I'm going to talk. It's going to be Saturday at 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, 7 p.m. Eastern. There will be replays if you cannot come. If you are interested, please reach out to me. And what we're going to do is we're going to talk about different energies or interference that can come into the human body and destabilize us. And when we are destabilized, what that can look like is health problems, mental issues. It can look like we can't really manifest as easily or step into abundance. So it can show up in our, in our body, or it can show up in our outside worlds when we're destabilized. So we're going to talk a lot about that on Saturday, a wider scope. And we're also going to do a very powerful meditation using some ancient wisdoms going back to Egypt. And we're also going to go into an energetic healing and clearing. So if you're interested in that, do like a little emoji below, a fire emoji, or a comment, or private message me. And I will look forward to seeing you there. So one of those places that energy comes in is different dimensions. And when there are different dimensions happening, it can really throw some of us off. And this is something that some other energetic healers are not talking about to the full extent that it needs to be talked about. And I was feeling sick and I was feeling off. And I kept asking some of my mentors and teachers, because it's important to have a mentor and a teacher, what is going on? What is going on? What is going on? And they did not really have any answers for me, except for just keep raising your vibration. And then they activated my starseed. So when we talk about starseed, another word for starseed is alien or extraterrestrial. Starseed is a nice way of putting it, or a more palatable for the masses. But it's really a being from another planet, an off-world being. And I love starseeds. When I work with others or in my programs, I also connect I connect them to their starseed lineage, if there is one to connect to. We do starseed work and activation, and it's a beautiful thing. And if we're doing that kind of work without having an awareness that it can open up other things, or not necessarily open up other things, but if there are other things present within the human form or around the human form, or if they're present in other timelines, then that can really throw the individual off and make them not feel well. And that's why I want to start talking about things that might not be as palatable to the masses, but are very important. So other dimensional energies coming in. One of the energies that I am very sensitive to is my alternate selves. So when there are other dimensions, there are going to be other other forms of us, other selves, other lifetimes, alternate timelines, alternate selves that we have experienced other than what we're experiencing here. And I was like, oh my gosh, why am I feeling so sick my whole life and not well, and all these what I would call negative experiences, which everything just is, but what feel like negative experiences. For me, one of the energies that I feel is the alternate selves. That is not one of the only ones. I do have a very strong alternate self, alternate timeline version of me. It's actually an origin. It's one of my origin gifts, one of my origin, which is a very beautiful, powerful thing to step into, of starseed. And my strongest one is the Palladians. We can talk about that at another time. Now, there was a point through my journey where I started feeling so much. I started channeling a lot and having other energies come into the extreme. I was not stabilized. If any of you know me, I'm a mother. It is not an optimal place to be as a mom when you are supposed to be caring for other human beings, to be channeling all the time, to have other energies come in. And when I would close my eyes, I could just see so much. I could see so much of the stars, of the cosmos, about wars that were going up there, other spaceships, other beings. And so I was bringing in a lot of high vibration energy, 100% love and light and truth, but I was also bringing in low vibration energies, or what you would call entities. Again, separate topic I'll probably talk about another time. One of the reasons that I was having such an intense experience with this is because that is a form of dimensional interference. Interference or energies coming in from other planets, from other galaxies, from other dimensions. It doesn't have to just be galaxies or planets. It can be other dimensions. And if you've watched the show Stranger Things, there can be wormholes, there can be portals, there can all be all of this going on dimensionally. So that is that whole world, which could be a whole nother topic. One of the subtopics in that topic is this other piece. Now, when we are having communication or connection with ETs, there, again, I'm going to repeat this part, there are very high vibration extraterrestrials, starseeds. They have human beings' highest and greatest good in mind. They don't always realize how we feel because they're not in a human body. Some of them are embodied and some of them are not embodied. Some of them are more not in a physical form. And whereas I was channeling a lot from very high vibration starseeds, extraterrestrials, it was not in my highest and greatest good because their frequency is different. They have a different frequency. So if you think about music, harmony goes on a frequency. The human body has frequencies. So we want to be able to either evolve the human body, which we can do energetically if we know how, but we also want to do it in a gentle way that is human body friendly. Now, with that, those dimensional energies, there are the friendly beings that they're our friends. It's what you would call ET emissaries. They love us and they are here to help. There are also lower vibration ETs. I'm not saying that to scare anybody. We don't need to be scared. We don't need to be scared of the dark, even if we feel we're under attack. So if anyone feels this is going on, please reach out to me if you want to talk. But they are lower vibration and they are not as friendly. Really, there is hope for them that we can bring healing and love and all the things, anything dark can be healed by love and light if it wants to. So again, not needing to be scared, because we are sovereign beings and we control our own energy field. Sometimes we need to be shown how to do that. And that's what I love to do, is show other people how to do that, because I needed to learn that for myself. Now, dimensional implants and tags, what they will use, and my ears are ringing right now. I think someone knows I'm talking about them. But what they do is they will use a dimensional implant or a tag for a couple different reasons. And there are different kinds of dimensional implants and tags. So we're going to get into it. I'm going to look at my notes because I'm already getting a little bit off. There are metallic implants. Now, we will hear stories, and they're not stories. What I want to say is they're not stories. We will hear experiences of people that maybe like a little metal thing fell out of a piece of their body, like the nose, or it could be in the foot, or it could be really anywhere in the body. And that's more metallic. There have been stories and accounts of like people going through metal detectors, and actually by some people that I trust and are my close friends, that they went through metal detectors and then they found a metallic extraterrestrial implant or tag. There oftentimes are not metallic in our bodies. They can be biological implants. They can be etheric or dimensional, which is probably the majority of them. And if you think about it, etheric, it's going to be more frequency vibration. They can be a crystalline implant. There's nantes and hubs. And nantes and hubs are going to have sort of a lot of different implants going around. They're going to have a lot of like a hub. If you think about a hub, there can be lots of little things going around. Now, there are ways that we can test for all this, and that I can test for all this, and also entity weapons. Scalar, or it's SCALAR, scalar weapons or implants. So, again, this is not happening to everyone, and we don't have to freak out. But how this can happen is they just want to either know where we are. They want to cause pain in the body. Some of them cause pain in the body. Some of these implants and tags are also going to be mental. They're going to cause mental, they can either be trackers, mind control, emotional ones for pain, and there can be different things. What some of these beings want to do is sort of, they're a little bit scared of humans, and they want to keep us down. Any beings that are scared of our light want to keep us subdued. And so that's a lot about what the implants and trackers are. They can also go dormant in the body. And for example, if you're a healer or if you've been doing frequency work, some of these will go, they'll be like broken or not, they're not working in the body, but they can still cause like inflammation in the body. So now I'm going to go in some personal experience. There is those, and the majority of those can just be cleared out, healed energetically, easy to do. We could do it quickly and they're gone. Sometimes we need to do it in layers. Like there'll be different layers that will come up of that kind of healing. Then there's this other kind of implant, and this is what I had. It's called a tag. And this kind of tag, really what it's going to look like for people, and this is what it looked like for me. Some people will actually have a sense that they are being blocked from success, no matter how much effort they put into their healing and spiritual evolution. Dimensional implants may be the cause or a contributor in the situation. It's going to look differently for everyone. Dimensional implants or multiverse live implants are generally considered for tracking, implants that follow you through time and space. Unlike other implants, removal protocols which specifically remove or neutralize negative implants of all types from you in this timeline. Dimensional implants need special care. Now, I had one of these. So the higher my vibration went, and because I was training to be a master healer, I was a master healer, I use that word lightly, training to be a very, I was doing a lot of training and a lot of healings on myself and others energetically, and my vibration kept rising. But I had this ET tag implant in me, and I was not doing well. And then the starseed piece came in, and I almost flipped my living lid. I was like, what is going on? Why have I been doing all this work and I'm so sick right now? And thank goodness I have a mentor that knew what was going on. And so there are protocols on how to do that, but what it can really look like in someone's life, and I say this with a grain of salt because there are other contributing factors, but I had a lot of trauma in my life. And anytime I would try to manifest or be successful, which I can teach manifestation, but so I knew all the things to do in that area and raise your vibration. Anytime I would do that, it would get just wiped out. Like I kept getting knocked back down. In my life, it looked like really a lot of dysfunction within my family. It looked like problems within my, my work life. And then I had a lot of health and emotional stuff as well. Again, it does not need to look like that for everyone. And there are protocols to do this. But instead of us being healers, because I know I have people in this group that are energetic healers and that are work helping with others, instead of being like, oh, we don't know what it is, or it's a dark entity, which really, I do a lot of dark entity work too. Because obviously lower vibration ETs are dark entities, but this piece of an implant or tag can often happen. And if we believe that there are not off-world beings happening, then that's okay. I actually really honor that, because I don't want you to just listen to a video and believe what I say. I want you to tap into your own truth. The first steps that I really take people through are being able to get very clear. If they can't get it from their own intuition, which if we're not grounded and not feeling well, we probably can't get it from our own intuition. I really want them to be able to get clear yes and no answers for themselves, or find someone that they trust that can help them with that. So please don't listen to me and be like, oh, Marilyn said this. I really want you to find your own truth. And this is just a lot about my story. But the higher my vibration rose, I was able to come into seeing this truth. And I'm almost going to end with this. I'm going to do a little bit of a healing after this. But what I came into remembrance about, and this is part of my story, that I did have an ET abduction, and I probably will talk about that more at some point. They did not have my highest and greatest good in mind, and there were large parts of my childhood that I didn't remember, and I thought that it was because of my trauma as a child, which yes, there was some of that, and that is another contributing factor. Emotions are a part of it, blocked emotions, blocked feelings, blocked experiences. But again, dimensionally, that these can come from other dimensions. We can be experiencing something here in our form here that is actually an experience that has happened from another dimension or another timeline, and they're not always the same. They can overlap, but it can come from another dimension, another timeline, and it can also come, sometimes we have what's called soul destiny partners, so there's a myriad of ways that these energies can come in. But for me, what I feel a lot, one of my gifts that did not feel like a gift for a while, was dimensional alternate selves, and also I'm very connected to the ET, cosmic, galactic, whatever you want to call it, other planets and so forth. So the tag that was placed in me was actually not placed in me during the ET abduction. It was placed in me long time ago, lifetimes ago, many lifetimes ago, many experiences ago. And this tag was placed in me, and they used it as a beacon to find me energetically, no matter what timeline I was in, no matter what, you can call it timeline, lifetime, what version of self I was in, they would find me, and then they did that. And it doesn't have to be the same star family or star race. It can transfer from races. So the ones that had put the tag in me originally, then when I moved to this human experience, I was found with that tag. An ET abduction happened when I was 3 years old. There was actually a spaceship under our house. An ET abduction happened. Other family members were affected. So there goes a lot of compassion for my whole family that I blamed forever. And I was abducted, and I am a mom too. I haven't talked to my children about this because I don't ever want to hurt them, nor do I need to push any of my things on them. But that my children, loved ones, don't have to have the tag, but they can be affected. Because if it's etheric in nature and it's like a beacon, a light, but not high vibration, that energy's going out. And so the higher my vibration came as an energetic healer, the sicker I got, because they were like, oh, she's raising her vibration, push her down, push her down. I'm getting chills talking about this. So I am very honored to be able to talk about this today. And I want to let everyone know that we do not need to live with these tags and implants. We do not need to sign up to the fact that we've had an ET abduction and we need to live in that trauma. We do not need to live in a place as healers, and I think this is happening a lot, and I hear it a lot, where people feel dominated by frequencies, whether it's AI Atlas, and forgive me if I forget some of the wording, because I try not to watch a lot of the information that's out there until I research it and intuitively go in and channel information from my guides, beings of 100% love and light and emissaries, to really see what information is based in 100% love, light, and truth. But we don't, AI Atlas, different frequencies, solar flares. I'm trying to think. These things are happening, some of them, and they can really affect us. That's what I mean by frequencies, vibration, and energy. And is where they can affect us. And this is why I love what I do, is that, again, we are sovereign beings. Gosh darn it. Like, we don't need to live in a place where we feel like we have to hide in our houses, where we feel like we're always being controlled by the cosmos. And this includes the full moon as well. Why other frequencies we feel we're sick or out of it for a couple days. If anyone's feeling that way, then again, please come to the healing on Saturday and reach out to me, and I'll give you the information for that. It's free. And I'm also going to be doing an intergalactic awakening challenge here in a couple weeks that you can come to. But really the message that I want to share is that there are tools that we can learn to step into our sovereignty. And for one, clear these tags, remove them, have them not in our bodies or any other implants. And any trauma that's happening around any extraterrestrial abduction or any other dimensional interference. And that's why I love this show, even though it was a very, Hollywood entertainment, Stranger Things, because it's like, take our power back, man. We have the power. We got the power. So to live in this place that we really can clear and heal and raise our light and channel what we want to channel, and not be channeling through our bodies and bringing pain into our body. And we don't need to have other entities or all of the things come in and dominate our lives. Like, we are meant as, whether you want to say God, source, light, whatever you want to say, really to stay in this place of like living in 100% love, light, and truth. And we are worth it. And we are loved that much, and to love ourselves that much, to really come into that place of healing. So I know this was a long little live today, a long talk. And, usually sometimes I try to make my talks a little shorter, but it went a little over today. And before we go, I'm going to do a little bit of a healing. So, just going to pass some healing frequencies and stabilization. Because really, as healers too, we can come into a stabilized place. We don't need to live in this thing of where we constantly feel like we're ascending and, like we stuck our hand in a light socket, or we're really confused, or all the things that can happen. So stabilization is key. And so we're going to do a little bit of that now. And sometimes if we feel we need to go a little further with that, that's okay. It just means that there might be a little more to tap into in that realm. But here we go. I will be quiet while this is happening. And I just want to, and then I'll end the live. But I love you guys, and you're worth it. Okay. I love you guys. Thank you for listening.